Mill, everybody, I'm Cantonese Cat. Hey everybody, Cantonese Cat here. This is the monthly chart of Ethereum. I found this chart to look very, very nice. A couple of reasons is to look at the fact that it's just been forming higher high, higher low, higher high, and right now it's just trying to find a higher low. I find that to be bullish. I like the fact that it's really respecting a lot of these Fibonacci levels, including getting rejected at 0.786 and finding support here at 0.5, which means that it's basically trying to respect a lot of these levels on the way up while forming higher highs and higher lows. And some of the higher Fibonacci extension levels could potentially be met this cycle. I find that to be bullish. When I put up the Ichimoku cloud on the monthly chart, you can see that what it is doing right now is very, very clear that it has broke through the Ichimoku cloud like it's nothing, like it's butter, even though it initially got rejected over here for 2 months. It probably broke through like butter, went higher, got exhausted because it got too far away from the Tenkan, came back down to test the Tenkan as well as testing the top of the cloud. Even though right now it's back inside the cloud, I don't know how long it's going to end up being inside the cloud. Maybe this month, maybe next month we get out of it. But I like the fact that it's got pretty decent increasing volume breakout of the cloud. And on the back test for the month of April, it was happening on rather low volume. I find that to be bullish with these kind of back tests after big breakout increasing volume with low volume back tests of the cloud of the 0.5 Fibonacci level and of the Tenkan line, which is the blue line right here. I find that to be bullish. I see a cross right here of the blue line with the red line, which is the Tenkan over Kijun or the conversion over the baseline. And when the leading line is crossing over the lagging line, it's a bullish cross, and I find that to be bullish. The same thing happened during last cycle, and you can see what happened when the blue crosses over the red. You have a short period of time of consolidation, kind of like we're having now, before it goes on a parabolic run. I find that to be bullish. I find that if you look at the 2-week time frame, you can see that this is also a very, very bullish looking chart, where it's basically pushing through the Ichimoku cloud on increasing volume, and when on the way is back testing the top of the cloud is on declining volume. I find that to be bullish. I find that if I get rid of the Ichimoku cloud and I go back to the monthly and I just put up the Bollinger Band, what you're seeing right now is the same thing that you saw in the last cycle, where you have a potential wave 1 here with subwaves 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, followed by about like a short 2 waves kind of thing, wave 2 over here. And this consolidation period that we're seeing right here has the same Bollinger Band morphology like we did on the last cycle, where initially you have a very, very strong squeeze allowing this wave 1 to happen to push price up higher, and you have a little bit of wave 2 to kind of cool down here. And initially after this Bollinger Band squeeze, followed by expansion, followed by a temporary squeeze again because of this period of consolidation for a few months, followed by a significant, and I mean significant Bollinger Band expansion, allowing price to go up higher. And I think we're having a very, very similar setup over here because if you look at a 20-month moving average, it's doing the same thing. It just changed the trend from down to up. And that happened for about 6 months over here before it starts going parabolic. This happened so far for about 5 or 6 months over here, potentially before it starts to go parabolic again. With Bollinger expansion, with price spending a few months above the upper above on the upper part of the Bollinger Band, and the fact that it's not overextended, it's just doing it closed way outside the upper Bollinger Band here for a month of March, and it's just basically cooling down, finding a lot of confluence of support over here at around the 0.5 Fibonacci level, and it can potentially precipitate a strong bullish move. I find it to be bullish. If I look at the weekly chart instead of looking at the monthly chart or the bi-weekly chart, and if I pull up the bull market support band, you can see that right now is trying to find some back testing of the bull market support band here as well, which is also a lot of confluence here at the 0.5 Fibonacci level. And you can see what happened last time when it was trying to back test at a very, very similar morphology. You are followed by a pretty big parabolic run that happens within the next month to 3 months or so, right? I find that to be bullish. If I take out the bull market support band, and if I go back to the monthly to kind of show you what the whales are doing with the Black Hat L3 Banker Fund Flow Trend Oscillator, you can see that this period of time over here that we're experiencing, again, correlates to this period of time over here before the big parabolic run from the last cycle in terms of the whale inflow. You have significant whale inflow for the last 6 months when price kind of went up and it kind of went sideways for about 4 months. And over here, same thing. You have a lot of whale inflow over 6 months. When price finally got to the point, it just kind of went sideways for about 3 months, and that could end up coiling for a significant move going up because you have a little bit of divergence where you have inflow of whale funds, but you don't really have much of a price action here yet. And I find that to be bullish. I find that the fact that Ethereum has changed from proof of work to proof of stake and basically reducing a lot of the selling pressure from the Ethereum miners from the past, I find it to be bullish. I like the fact that is got token yield and the tokenomics have significantly improved. I like that is actually a truly deflationary asset. I find that to be bullish. I find that the fact that altcoin season hasn't really started yet, and whenever altcoin season starts, you're going to end up burning a lot of Ethereum. There's going to be a supply shock that could potentially come. I find that to be bullish. Not a lot of people are talking about Ethereum right now. A lot of people are kind of chasing whatever is shiny right now. Most people are actually talking about GME going up a lot this past week too, or this weekend, and nobody's really talking about Ethereum. I find it to be bullish. A lot of people haven't really trying to justify what Ethereum does, nor have they been trying to justify as to how futuristic and how many smart contracts and how many things you can do with Ethereum that you otherwise could not have done with. That usually happens after the price goes up, and that hasn't really happened yet. That means that Ethereum is still under the radar, and I still find it to be bullish, especially after a big consolidation period over here for about a year and a half, and a lot of whales have already accumulated throughout this whole period. They're going to find an excuse to potentially pump this asset up. I find it to be bullish. Now, if you ask me what to expect when it comes to the Ethereum ETF, just like the Bitcoin ETF, whether or not it's going to be, significantly increased inflow of funds coming from institution in the future, or even, your regular retirement fund investor in the future? The answer is yes, but that can take time. Now, whether or not it's going to be the buy the news, sell the news, buy the rumor, sell the news, buy the rumor, buy the news, sell the rumor, sell the news, or sell the rumor, buy the news, I don't think anybody really knows. And honestly, I don't really care. I think that there are a lot of positive things that are working out both from the fundamental tokenomic side as well as from the technical side, that I think the upside of Ethereum is probably going to go pretty well. So I'm not really that worried about Ethereum. If, as a matter of fact, I find it very, very nice to just stay in, be cool about it, and don't worry about it too much. You see a lot of assets actually have pumped way too far above the Tenkan line, the blue line, on the monthly, but Ethereum hasn't. Ethereum has tapped it twice. So that tells me that Ethereum really is no longer overextended. If you bought over here around 4,000, that may not have been the best risk reward ratio. But if you buy it down here at under 3,000, I find the risk reward ratio to be pretty decent. Again, none of this is financial advice. I think that's just common sense. Anyway, thank you so much for listening. Have a good one. Bye.